All right, let's dive more into the Texans now that training camp is off and running. Look who's in the house tonight. We got Aaron Wilson, insider for ClickToHouston.com, Reggie Atatula from Sports Radio 610, Brian Big Sarge Bearfield, Big Sarge Media. Guys, we got a little bit to talk about now. We were talking the last few weeks like we were counting down to camp. Camp has finally started. I don't know about you guys. It was a great feeling to be out there and watch some real football.
To see all the action, Randy, to actually have some things you can really evaluate. We were just kind of speculating and spitballing in the offseason, but this is the real thing.
You get that football feeling. I think I put my clothes out the night before. I think I was like...
Getting ready to go to school?
I think I was up live streaming. I was so excited for camp to be back. I just couldn't wait. Football is just something that's totally different, and it just gets me going.
Reggie, you look at the start of camp. There's so many things we're all, as we cover this football team, we're spotlighting. You know, you can start, especially on the offensive side, what kind of year CJ will have, and I think the consensus is going to start up front with that offensive line. That's getting a lot of attention.
100%. I mean, it's the number one thing when it comes to this Texans team is can you keep CJ upright? And early on, the defense was really getting after those boys. You know that they're going to have to earn it because it's a top-tier defense. But I'm really intrigued by the competition aspect that the Texans are coming at this from. You can see at least they're living to that. I'm waiting for pads, though, to get a full evaluation because if we're just going off of shirts and shorts,
yeah,
those guys got a little way to go still.
You look at both sides. It's very early in camp, so no time to panic. But I want to follow up offensively, besides the O-line, running back situation now because there's been no sighting of Joe Mixon. You've been reporting on that, Aaron, as well. But you got Nick Chubb out there as well. How are we approaching the Joe Mixon situation? We'll start with you, Aaron.
Right, here with Joe Mixon. Joe is on the non-football injury list. He got hurt in the offseason working out on his own. He was in a walking boot. Then he graduated to a brace, and he regained some mobility over the summer. As I reported, he would not be ready for the start of training camp, and the goal is to have him ready for the Rams. They have not ruled out the possibility that he'll be ready for the first game. Nick Chubb, to me, we haven't seen a lot of explosiveness, not a lot of twitchiness, but he looks healthy, and maybe that light will click on as camp goes on.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm not assuming that you get that Chubb back, though. I mean, when you talk about running backs, you get to a certain time, and they've, had the carries, and they've had a lot of the yards squeezed out of them, and he would fall into that kind of category. The thing about it, though, is he has the level of experience to be able to pick up an offense, be able to run the way that you want. So I don't know that he's going to be the explosive Nick Chubb that we've once seen, but I think that he can at least be one that is serviceable.
Well, Randy, when the report came out, when they reported again that Joe Mixon will be out an extended amount of time, I pulled my truck over, I started stretching just in case running backs coach Danny Barrett needed me. But
you got something in there?
I think I got one more year eligibility left. But I had an opportunity to speak with Danny Barrett on Friday, and what we discussed was I told him, I said, Coach, you have a good problem. And a good problem to have is that your running back room is crowded. And that's where you have to give General Manager Nick Caserio, you have to give them credit because going out and drafting a guy like a Woody Marks, knowing that he can run out of the backfield, but he can also catch out of the backfield. You can teach him how to pass block. And if you can get him into that, then you don't need Chubb as much, and you don't have to depend on giving Joe Mixon so many carries. So you got to throw the rookie in there early to get him going.
As a group, this defensive group, I always have said throughout this offseason, this is a Super Bowl if they stay healthy, Super Bowl caliber defense. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I think they're elite, Randy. When you look at the defensive end position, that's the best tandem. Potentially, it's the best secondary. Mm-hmm. The only spot, and I don't say this to knock them, linebacker not as strong just compared to those groups, but these guys are at the top of the charts in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree, in fact, to the point where I'm starting to look at practice and saying, do you need to reel these guys in so the offense can get a little work? The thing that really caught my attention is that D'Amico Ryans, the head coach of the team, but obviously defensively focused, talked about them looking in training camp at trying to take the football away, not just go and sack the quarterback, but knock it out of his hands. That, to me, signals a team that knows that they're going to be good and seeing if they can push good to great or great to elite. And I think that that's going to be the thing that's really exciting for me about this team.
The one thing that I really love about that defense is the competition aspect. And even though you have people that solidified as starters, they know that they're still competing against other players, And so when you look at like Kamari Lassiter, he knows that he has a young Jalen Smith looking over his shoulder wanting to get that playing time as well. Mm-hmm. Look at Kalen Bullock. You know that he has a young Jalen Reed looking over his shoulder. But, Aaron, I think I'll have to disagree with you. I think that linebacker group is the strongest group on there, and that's because they're led by Azeez Al-Shaair and what he did in the offseason by going over to Derek Stingley Sr.'s Cover 1 elite defensive back training camp. And so him being a middle linebacker, being a linebacker in general, going to learn from elite defensive backs because he wanted to get better at pass coverage. And I think you all seen it paid off on Saturday.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Definitely room for debate and a good one. Look at linebacker, but I think because you have one unsettled position next to him, that's why I downgraded them. And I don't see a Pro Bowl performer at linebacker, but I see at least 2 Pro Bowlers on defensive line.
Henry
and one
To'oTo'o
off-ball.
has proved it, Aaron. He's proved that he can play.
Not saying he can't play, just saying linebacker not as good
I think
as
we got a linebacker conversation.
It's a heck of a debate. I love it.
Hey, bottom line is camp is going 4 days in. They took today off. They're back at it. Full week ahead out at NRG Park before they pack up and head out to West Virginia for a few days of practice ahead of that Vikings game. Hey, great conversation as always. Great to have you guys in. Aaron Wilson, click2houston.com. Reggie Atatula for Sports Radio 610. And Brian Big Sarge, Bearfield, Big Sarge Media. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.